not trying to enrage you or torture you. I recommend that on purpose because I believe it is something that is good for everyone involved. Hi, I'm Lisa Duffy, Catholic author and speaker. And you know, the family is supposed to be the school of virtue par excellence. There really is no greater classroom for teaching virtue than a family that's trying to live a good life. But when a divorce happens, and unfortunately Catholics do get divorced, does that mean that all of that goes out the window? And I'm here to tell you, no, that is not the case. At least it doesn't have to be. What we know is that divorce is not what God intended for marriage. But I can tell you, after 25 years of working with divorced Catholics, men and women, there are families that go on to lead powerful examples of virtue and humility after the devastation of divorce. So that's what I wanted to chat with you about today. I want to give you my 4 recommendations for keeping virtue in your home after a divorce. First recommendation I have for you is to pray together as a family. And maybe you did this before the divorce. Maybe this is something that you would just be starting. But I can't encourage you enough to pray with your children. It doesn't matter if they're little or teenagers or adults. Praying together really helps to solidify the security in the family, but also God's blessings upon your family and a sense that God is with you. Divorce can be such a terribly unsettling time, especially for children that are young. And the more security they have, the better prepared they're going to be for their futures. And so praying together gives them a sense of stability and a sense of hope that God is still with them. Now, I'm going to add a suggestion onto this first one, and that is to also pray for your ex-spouse. Now, I'm not trying to enrage you or torture you. I recommend that on purpose because I believe it is something that is good for everyone involved. It is good for your children because they can see that there's mercy involved. It's good for you because it's going to help you overcome feelings of unforgiveness, resentment. And I'm not saying any of that will happen overnight, but it sort of slowly chips away at that resentment that you are carrying, or it helps to soften some of these explosive exchanges you might be having. Prayer is always something that's so needed for every family, but definitely for a family that is experiencing divorce. And that leads me to my next recommendation, which is give your children the best possible image of your ex-spouse. Again, I'm not trying to upset you because I know that there are some very, very difficult circumstances out there. But even though you have every reason in the world to be angry, and it's a just anger, it's important to remember that children still love their other biological parent, and helping them see a positive image, or at least a more positive image of the other parent, is going to help them heal. I know the temptation, especially with older children, to explain your side of the story. But I guarantee you that harsh words and accusations against your ex-spouse hurt them. Just choose charitable words when you are discussing what happened with your children. Choose not only charitable words, but age-appropriate information. Your children don't need to know everything. Even if they're adults, they don't need to know everything. Just give them appropriate information and use the most charity you can find, which I understand can be difficult. But it is also an example of heroic virtue. This is absolutely one of the best ways to keep virtue in your home and to keep your children on track with living a good life. My third recommendation is this. When you're communicating with your ex-spouse, if it becomes explosive, just make a conscious decision to not join the fight. It is also a difficult step to take. And again, I have to say, I know you have righteous anger. Let's say a conversation just takes on a life of its own and there's screaming and profanity and all kinds of terrible things being said. Take a step back and just don't join in. Here's an example from my own personal experience. There was a time after my divorce where I was still communicating with my ex-spouse, and whenever we did communicate, the conversation would go from 0 to 60 in no time. It was pretty ugly. And I would leave that conversation shaken for days because I was afraid, and it was extremely unsettling and very, very hurtful. And one day I said to myself, I cannot live this way. I just can't go for it. I can't go to work. I can't be around my family with all of these crazy encounters with this person. And so I decided in a very particular way to not join that fight. The next time I had a conversation with him and everything just blew up, I took a step back. I didn't say anything. I let him speak and, rampage until he was done. And when he was done, then I said to him, from now on, you can either speak to me as a civil human being or you can speak to my lawyer. And I didn't say that with animosity. I said it with a deep desire to have peace. I needed peace. That was the last time he became out of control in a conversation. And so there are ways, I don't know if that way would work for you, but just reflect on your situation and the things that you have to discuss and find a way to either not involve yourself with the anger and the fighting, or just find a way to build parameters for yourself. It's important to understand that you can't control your ex-spouse. You can't control other people who may be adding to your hurt and frustration, but you can control yourself. And that is a great thing because you can set the tone and you can set the parameters. Laying down your arms is not a weakness. It is definitely a strength. And again, it's one that your children will pay close attention to. And my final recommendation here is simply to be very selective with whom you share details about your situation. In the time that I've been working with divorced people, I have seen on more than one occasion, or I've heard stories on more than one occasion of children coming home from school crushed because they heard other kids talking about what their parents were going through. And that is a horrendous thing for a child to hear. You do not want that. The details of your personal life are not everyone's business, and people love sticking their nose in other people's business. Don't give people who don't need to know that opportunity. Find someone who you can have as a confidant, whether that is a family member, maybe it's a spiritual director, maybe it is just a great friend who you can trust. Just find someone who you can speak with that is trustworthy and will keep your details private. And then everyone else is just on a need-to-know basis. And that way you protect your privacy as much as possible and you protect your children. All of these steps together build confidentiality and privacy and security for you and your children as much as is possible in your situation. And it also helps you to trust each other and move forward trying to still live that good life and be a good example. None of these things are easy. I understand because I've walked in your shoes. But here's what I want you to hold on to. Just that virtuous living is not built in easy moments. It's built in the challenging situations that divorce puts us in every single day. The explosive arguments that you decide to step away from. The conversations where you could just lash out against your ex-spouse, but you decide instead to limit your conversation or find charitable words. Things like these are great steps in virtue. They help you grow, and you are leading your children in a virtuous life. I really hope that this information helped you. And if you did find any of it helpful, then I encourage you to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be offering a lot more trying to help you as a divorced Catholic. And if you're looking for more support, I'd like to encourage you to check out the Journey of Hope program online. I'm going to leave the link below for you. Just remember, you can do this. God's grace will carry you through every situation if you ask for His help. Just know that I'm praying for you, and please pray for me too.